panelists always made the people at the start post-lunch, so that we'll, in our best effort, keep you awake. So that's my request to my panelists also, that we'll do our best to keep you awake. So the panel discussion is very important and very apt for the conference as well. So we're talking about smart manufacturing and sustainable development goals for MSMEs in India. Just to get started and maybe just contextualize what are we trying to discuss today. I'll give you some statistics and then I'll call my fellow panelists to give their views on some of the questions I have for them. I think India is at the cusp of a major change. We have been a services market for a very long period of time, and I think we've done what we needed to do in that space. But I think with the geopolitical shift happening around us, not just in our neighborhoods but globally, it's imperative that India has to move also in some other directions to really get to 2045 target of $35 trillion. Now, if that has to happen, and by the way, what we call is Amrit Kal now, it's important that we start moving and shifting slowly towards meaningful steps that shall lead us to that particular goal. So to that effect, manufacturing plays a very important and critical role in our journey towards 2047. We very well know how China has become the manufacturing hub of the world. We are competing against formidable competitors. And there are certain geopolitical situations that are putting India in a sweet spot. So it's important for us to take steps in the right direction. Now, another very important number that we should keep in mind is that there is through 2029 we will grow at about 8.1% CAGR. So we'll go to about 1 trillion mark by 2029. But what is very important to look at is the contribution that MSMEs bring in and how are they pivotal to this whole change. So just to give you a number, we are 111 million people employed in MSMEs in India, which is therefore the largest employer in that sense. We have 63 million MSME enterprises in this country. So that means MSME, while they employ large, they employ the average size is smaller, which has to go. So therefore, there are 2-3 ways that we are looking at this change to happen. One is certainly looking at how technology can be at the center of this transformation. So whether that is precision engineering, whether that is use of artificial intelligence, or it is use of emerging technologies to ensure that we produce for less, more for less. I think that's going to be very important. Again, I'm of the opinion that we should not talk about cheap. We should not talk about low cost. We should talk about competitive pricing, but high quality. I think that's how we will differentiate as a country. See, today, when you go to market and you want to buy something, when it is written made in China, now they write PRC, you have a doubt in mind whether I'm going to get the quality of my kind of art. That should not happen with India. When it is made in India, make in India, it should represent the highest level of quality that you can get for your price. I think that to me is a fundamental shift of how we are going to gain leadership and therefore create an opportunity for India as a country to be a developed nation by 2047, to be a nation which is going to be a north pole for everybody else in the global terms. So I think with that, I think it's important that technology is not the only dimension we're taking care of. We're also looking at how are we sustainable in our ways of growth. So whether it is about people in that sustainability, or it is about the practices that we bring in our sustainability, or it is about the technology that is used for sustainable development. So there are SDGs that are numbered, and a lot of SMEs do have these SDGs at the core of their development. So I think I'm really happy to have my fellow panelists here who have a long history of working with MSEs, technologies, and also with SDGs. In practice, I think I was talking to all of them before the session here, and it was great to really know how SDGs are at the core of their development. So with that, I'll start my questions. We are going to strictly close this in 25 minutes. I've eaten 5 minutes. I've got 25 minutes on my hand, and I'll request all of my panelists help me in getting us out of this table on time. Thank you so much. So my first question to Ms. Prerna. I think you've spent a lot of time in SME market and sustainability. That's the kind of role you played. So the two questions I have for you is one. See, there's a general notion that all SMEs don't know the benefits they can get and from where they can get these benefits. That's one question. How do we really demystify that for our SMEs? Second is, you work with sustainability index. What is that, and how people can use that to their advantage? And finally, you could conclude with an example where sustainability-led development has created value.
Great. It's a difficult task to complete 3 questions in 5 minutes, but I'll give my best. I'll start with an interesting initiative by SIDBI, which is called the Sustainability Predictability Index. It's called SPECS, is how we normally refer to it. What it does is it measures the awareness, the willingness, and the implementation of sustainability practice by cluster-focused MSMEs. And an interesting statistic that has come out of it, in fact I'll share two main statistics. The first one is that more than 50% of SMEs are not aware of the green financing and policy initiatives created for SMEs to become, for their energy transition. And the second is that more than 60% SMEs choose the path of sustainability and being green for either regulatory compliance or because of what they believe would help them with cost cutting. And this is where I'll address the first aspect with a couple of recent initiatives in financing. So there's a $500 million partnership that India has with World Bank, which is called RAMP, which is Rising and Accelerating MSME Performance. And within that, there are 2 very interesting schemes. The first one is called MSME Gift. It has nothing to do with Gift City. It is green investment and financing for transformation. That gives a concessional capital of up to 2% for a loan amount of 2 years for a period of 5 years. There's another interesting one which focuses on circular economy, which is called MSME Spice, which again provides capital investment subsidy for your purchase of manufacturing plants of up to 25%. With a cap of 12.5 lakhs of the 25% subsidy. And that is focused on 11 sectors which are promoted for circular economy, like rubber, plastic, electronics, and those manufacturing clusters. Besides this, if you look at SIDBI, there are various initiatives and financing schemes that it has come up with. One of them is their green financing loan, which gives a loan of up to 50 crores for pure capex and 100% financing. Now the interesting thing is very few SMEs know of it and few are still aware of it. And here I'll address the last part of, a case, a very interesting organization that I'm working on, and where I talk of the mindset with which the SMEs target sustainability. Like I said, they focus on 2 aspects, either cost cutting or customer ne bola hai ya regulatory compliance hai to karna. So there is this organization I was asked to advise on ESG strategies, and typical thing is, how can you cut your cost? Where can you cut down on your suppliers or supply chain variations? How can you increase your profit? So there was one interesting aspect, was this manufacturing plant was creating waste of few tons every month. And it was paying a waste management agency to take that wastage from their office premises and dispose it. I just looked at the waste. I said, this is an expense, let's look at it, what's happening there. And long story short, because of the shortage of time, what we did was instead of paying to carry the waste away, we created a sub-company within that organization, started processing the waste with a minimal investment of 5 crores, and now we are generating revenue from that waste by selling that waste with little processing to 4 different industries. And now we are exploring with material scientists based out of IITs as well as abroad on how we can extract metals from that waste that we have generated to almost quadruple the revenue we will be generating from the waste. So what we have done is converted an expense into a profit, into revenue rather, and with almost minimal expense, we will be profitable in the next 6 months. And we started this initiative just about 7 months ago. So in 1 year, you can become a revenue generating organization, not organization, convert your waste into revenue generation. So I'll stop here. I think I've exceeded by 1 minute.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. No, I think, it's good to know, one, that, there's so many schemes available. Government is, and financial sector is poised to fund companies, but maybe, the gap is in the knowledge itself. Maybe a repository where people can, maybe AI can help in this, and where you can query that if I have a requirement of a certain kind of capital, who all institutions are willing to fund and what are the terms of funding. Maybe that would be a solution. So that, just for your knowledge, we got 2 of the members of the stage who are from the policy perspective, from the enablement perspective, and 2 of the members who are delivering services. So I'll first cover the policy side, then we'll go to the services side. So my next question is to Mr. Rabindra. So you've got a long career in automotive, and I am from transportation background as well. So I believe the implementation of technology, more about emerging tech and SDGs, is very, very close to automotive sector. We deliver it every day, and it is seen every day. So, how do you see this confluence of technology and SDGs like together to deliver value as we go along? So, I think in more context of when we are really talking about net zero, we're talking about carbon neutral footprint, we're talking about cities, kind of creating defense system against the pollution systems, etc. So how is that going to really work out, and how is that going to be enabled through MSMEs?
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. So stay quick, 5 minutes. Whatever he spoke about and policy and the challenges related to the SDG, and these are all opportunities, right? And this opportunity and the problem we can solve through the technology. I've been doing this for the last 3 decades in the automotive, aerospace, industrial, import, cargo, all the area. What are the best practices involved? Like he said that I've done hands-on and then delivered on the ground, right? 2 days back I was in Dubai talking the same thing. Yesterday I was in the New Delhi talking the same thing. Today in Ahmedabad, and tomorrow in the Bangalore talking with the India-Japan CTO summit. 5 points I'm going to share in the 5 minutes. Point 1. First, we need to adopt digital technology in manufacturing to make the manufacturing smart. It is SMEs. So SMEs first, because he's working to SDG as the long-term goal, is small and medium. So he need to first digitize their manufacturing facility, convert whatever existing plant is there, or he's trying to put the future, make the digital of that and digital twin. I will define the digital twin in the virtual twin. Now we talk about virtual twin means whatever machinery, equipment, facility, processes, layout we have got, make the machine smart with the whatever technology you use, convert that into collecting the data from the real time on the dashboarding. We cannot go for all the machine. Start with the small, because I'm talking about the SMEs. Moment you convert that in smart, first we have the digitalizers, the digital entry is there. We can work to capacity enhancement, utilization, effectivity, and all we can done with the digital. Run the small plant, whatever is the capacity, for 1 week or 2 days or 1 year, find out where the mistake, where is the opportunity to improve, where utilization is not going to high improve. Make the machine smart. In other terms, we call about execution system or IoT based. So moment you start measuring it, see that what stage it is being done, then it's highlighted that we are going to save. Anything, whatever you save, measure it, deliver, improve it.
Is goes to the SDG, right? Because you are reducing the carbon footprint and the net zero. So this is very, very point one. Point two, it was Mercedes and the policy what she was talking about. Here, C stage spot. 3 steps. Any technology implemented in SDG or here. See, try, then buy. See, try, and buy. This is awareness of the technology. Awareness is driven employment. I will purchase around 1,000 of the small and medium provide in the community. I find that awareness is very, very important. A majority of the SPs are the are business. That is the adopting an awareness. Make the awareness. See the service provider who is bringing the use cases to learn, train your people. So what we call the C, you need to buy in this stage. What you see there, that see, be the spice right. Correct processes and to be possible. EQ the stitching goes not the challenges there. If you identify the tie, just go be the maximum. Don't they go to the tie. Whatever that, they not added purpose or go for the both of technology usually will the ease of carbonated alkane and if it's successful, when giving EQ, we start the bottle line supporting the big carriage. Identify that be the person. Why say pull that? Then go to the trust stakes. This is the scale up. Either faster scale up the way back. So this is a good technology we predict see it but this is a process to it. Third point which I wanted to say we are now prepping to the life cycle assessment, right? Any product or process you build, each of the stages we need to really measure it and capture it. If the advisor is that we work on purpose, which is positive manufacturing entire stages. The type of those stages also it can I you need to highlight in public it and publish it, right? And this is the way it happened. So this is the war we need to have as it. What is doing right at this and what we go for. Look, nobody pitching the night house projects are there. These are the political engaging each industry both a technology or a territory. So those papers projects are them very private. You really can see where the I could the data about data way to see where AC on those SMEs and try to adopt it. Right? The packet the last style we see IT, right? I got IT of engineering, technology, right? I think some of the aspects will talk about say, oh, AI, and you have to talk about ML, or to talk about IoT, but that's part the heat of engineering technology, which is all that important. Exactly what manufacturing processes design. So both needs to be adopted. It's not only IT. Combined to your understanding is that you both it, but IT and data technology the other. And best to be said, starting with the Gary technology which I spoke already. So the one that we have to this slide, I give you did 45 real will neck up to Buddhism. And this is a Javik to be good start. So this. Thank you so much. I think I allowed for see what was it's very tribal. Something that will stay the beat. Okay, now I'll take you the last cue from you, engineering IT. I think that is kind of close to Mr. Bhavik. And the question to you is, I think you were known for precision engineering, and I read through the work that you do, that you were first. So two things that resonate well with me is the quality, knock up marks, pico, which I could see that the way you look at the people side of the story, enablement, etc. And third, your focus on sustainability. These three things cannot beat here. So, how do you see emerging technology changing your kind of enterprise? Because I believe artificial intelligence, precision engineering, all of that is getting embedded into the machines that you use and contribute. So, therefore, it is going to provide you with a very different kind of capability, which obviously is not a very future face in terms of global competitiveness of your products. So, that's not question hacks that being seen in your formula and at cluster level. Second, how do you ensure that SDGs become your cornerstone of development? Because that's something that can takes for you. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here. I This is loud enough. So, like you said, I mean, there are two very specific areas we are talking about. Uh, Technology and AI in manufacturing, and then you're talking about sustainability. So, in terms of technology and AI, there are so many things that have we've already implemented, and we are on that journey. So, at the core, we are basically we are a small in the MSME definition. We are a small company, but at the core of our operation is that we're planning for a very high end ERP, which is SAP S4 HANA, which forms the backbone of whatever we do. That is probably a very expensive investment, but it is not something had any doubt that we wanted to go in for. Uh, we have gone in for multiple. So, in terms of AI and digital use, we've gone in for robotics. So, we have a stable of 35 machines. The idea is that we've gone in with a lot of startups. I think probably the domain of the DHC. We've used a lot of startups to on our digital journey. We currently implemented one pair where we're using robotics in terms of machining, which has helped us, in terms of loading, unloading joints, and faster and throughputs, more efficiency. We've also gone in with machine monitoring software, which is connected to all the machines, the prompts and the basic getting all the data from the machine directly telling us real time. So, I mean, you don't need now supervisors going around the machine shop with machine cube by here. Why is it not producing enough? Sitting on your desktop, plus as the software is being used, is also giving us generating information about possible potential breakdown or the need to do some kind of intervention to ensure that there's no disruption in the manufacturing. Our entire set of when we had more than I think, and there was be at least 7,000 inspection equipment that we have. All of it has gone digital. We've used the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity for all our instruments. I don't know how many of you know that, but typical vernier caliper is also now digital. Digital it was, but now it's all connected to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, so that any measurement taken goes straight to the and it it's we've gone in for 3D scanning machines. So I don't need the different equipment to measure a part which is made. It is just scanned and it tells me where the which dimensions are not okay and whether the part is okay or not. We've done a lot. I mean, similar. We bring a lot of. We use some technology, the warehousing. We use technology in terms of packaging. So everywhere we make a slowly story. So I just shift to the ESC part because I think I'm taking off a lot of time. So effectively, in terms of sustainability in manufacturing, we started our journey a few years back, but I think there is this agency called Repovadas,
which is based out of Europe. We tried our ranking with them in ESG and we failed. We learned from that and we've gone on to now be bronze rated with them. We're going on towards to the next level. Typically, sustainability in manufacturing, I think Prerna also asked me this, how is it relevant? So in terms of, we have emissions, right? Whether it is greenhouse gases from the air conditioning, we have all other types of pollutants, like we have PG sets. So if you're using them, I mean, whatever emissions we are having, then there are other types of pollution, which is noise pollution, which we measure the decibels in the workshops to ensure that they are maintained at a certain level. They don't go above that level, just to ensure that it's a good workspace. There is also how we manage solid waste, right? I mean, there is obviously, so in terms of pollution, I think when we started the journey, we were red as per the GPCB rank ratings. We were in the red category. Today we are in the white, which we went from red to orange to white. So we are absolutely now in terms of we not carbon neutral right now, but we are going there. But at least everything else has been taken care of in terms of. So we are large aspect is water consumption, which I was giving that example. Water consumption, like every machine has between 35 to 200 liter as coolant. When we are machining, and this coolant would degrade in 3 months based on the which today now, because of again through a startup, we have this equipment which regenerates, and now we change the coolant. I mean, the bottle is changed only once in 2 years or two. I mean, we've not changed as of right now. It's already past 2 years, but effectively saying that we just keep topping up more, because water is evaporated and consumed. We have to just top up. Then there is, of course, energy usage. Very basic is in terms of use of solar power. So we have 70% of our consumption is covered by solar. But then there are also other ways where we've started using a lot of in terms of LEDs, in terms of inverter ACs and all that, just to reduce our electric footprint. Then we have, in terms of our supply chain, we have not yet gone there with the other sustainability issues, but most definitely we are ensuring that they're not using child labor, they're not using, they're ethically working, wages are being paid, as per the. So these are all part of our sustainability initiatives that we have. Health and safety of our own employees, of course, goes without saying. And then, of course, there is we're focusing on diversity and inclusion in our workshop and our company. So these are some of the things that we are focusing on and we are doing actually now for the last few years now. I hope that kind of
absolutely. It puts in perspective.
Sorry for taking that extra time.
It doesn't matter. I think that's what I wanted the audience to really hear. I think what I can get from this is intent is more important than the size of the firm that you are up. If your intent is right, you will find ways to get the sustainability measures. So, for example, small things. You're talking about the energy mix that you are having in your plant. You're looking at ethical practices within your enterprise and outside of your enterprise, so on and so forth. I think all of that is in alignment to the sustainability goals that we eventually will have to really look at a sustainable way of living on this planet. So that takes me to the last panelist, and very important one, because you seem to be making a lot of news these days. Your electric vehicles are disrupting the market. We are kind of seeing that you now a very, very definite roadmap to electrification agenda in the country. So there were two questions for you. One is, how is your climate action? I think it's a very clear stated goal and climate action plan in India and Alliance to SDG. How is that being strategically used within NG? And second, how do you see changing expectations of customers towards sustainability as core of your strategic development?
Okay, thank you again, Vivek, and once again thanks for Gesia for inviting to this panel. Just touch upon, we belong to JSW NG Motor India. Our plant is in Halol, which is 50 kilometers from Vadodara, and we are in the business of manufacturing passenger vehicles. So, coming to the question, what Vivek is asking, like how we are, contributing in our own way in terms of sustainability, in terms of climate change, in terms of SDGs. So, I would try to cover in two portions. One is our own product portion, which is the vehicles which we manufacture and deliver, and the other one will be process portion. So we started 5 years ago, exactly 2019, and we came up with a vehicle which is MG Hector. But after the Hector, of course, it was very well received and a great success. Within 9 months, we came up with first EV model, kind of first in the country as well at that time. Of course, it is very good to see now many of our OEMs are catching up on EVs. Last month we launched our third EV product. So this is the sixth product which we have launched in 5 years, and the last month we launched our third EV product. And we take a lot of pride in doing this to expand our EV portfolio for the simple reason that, one, obviously it is a zero tailpipe emission. So at least whatever we are saying and doing, it is creating that much less pollution to the environment when the products are on the road. Second, we are also seeing there is a significant shift now happening, especially in the younger customers, because younger customers are, what we see, are associating themselves with a cause. So whether the cause is climate, whether the cause is pollution, whether the cause is social upliftment, diversity, so on and so forth. So they are trying to correlate with the products, not just vehicles, even for the other products which they are buying. And that is helping us, or rather motivating us to bring more and more EV in that sense. So that's on the product portion. When we are doing this, as I said, our factory manufactures everything, right from the sheet metal, welding, painting, assembly, and so on and so forth. In the entire process chain also, we have now reached a stage where we are able to use the chemicals which are environment friendly. The chemicals which were used earlier required heating up 60 degrees, 70 degrees, 80 degrees centigrade, which means obviously you need energy, you need heaters, you need boilers. Now we have worked with the chemical suppliers to work with chemicals which are kind of room temperature, 45 degrees, 42 degrees, so on and so forth. So that is also in a way helping to do that bit of it onto towards the climate. And entire process of our own processing of vehicles, whatever effluent is getting generated gets treated in our own plant, and the water after the treatment gets used for recycling in all our gardening. Nothing goes out of the plant. So even that is also made sure that we are not even going out in the four walls of the plant. So that's how the whole process is now getting customized. And like Mr. Rabindra was saying, we have also now adopted, like he was mentioning, see, try and buy. So we have gone to that stage. We are in the pilot stage of some of the digital twins, some of the equipment, because we bought over this plant from an existing plant, so they were old. But we have now modernized them in terms of, using some of the sensors to predict failures, and that is helping, to operate in a much more efficient way. So, all in all, it is a drive towards that end that we are able to contribute in our own ways to the society. We also focus a lot and take pride in empowering women in that sense. So maybe many of you are aware how automobile plants work, but we have now a situation where more than 37% of our workforce, shop floor workforce, is diversity. And we take a lot of pride in this. Because even when we started, it was an experience for us to get the female workforce, the girls into our plant 5 years back, nobody knew MG. It's a kind of taboo in that region. But now the employees themselves come and share the resumes of their girlfriends or their bhabis or their sister-in-laws. Can we please look at it? So that is the pool that has been created in the entire ecosystem, and we take a lot of pride in this. So I think these are some of the efforts that we are putting in to work in our own way to the entire climate action and SDG goals.
Well, thank you so much. I think one thing that's also very close to my firm is the diversity and inclusion. It's in the PNI. It's in the front and center of our strategy. How do we really have more women workforce and diverse workforce into our leadership? I think the program is not just about getting them to work with us, but to take them to the leadership positions. So with that, I think we're doing good on time, thanks to my panelists. So I'll try and conclude this. So I think 4 things that I believe are important outcomes of what we discussed today. 1, access to financial systems so that SMEs can thrive, because I think one of the problems with MSMEs is access to finance. So as Prerna said, there are a lot of instruments available. There are a lot of capabilities available in the financial market, but it's important for SMEs to know where to tap in those funds. Second is digital and infra gaps. So technology would play a very, very important role in ensuring that your infrastructure and digital delivers for efficiency. And that's where the emerging tech delivers. I think that's what we've seen in case of both, that technology is really helping them provide a superior product. Third is skills and awareness deficits. I think it's very important to really look at skills for future. I think India being a young population, in one of the strategic discussion at government of India level, the focus was, can we be skills forward? I think because we are the youngest population, and for some more time we are going to be the youngest population. We can be the manufacturing base for the world, but we can also be the skills for the world. So therefore, whatever skill gap exists, and MSMEs are going to play a pivotal role in that shift of how we are not seen as arbitrage for cheap labor, but value for skills. I think that's the different transition that one is really looking at. And lastly, how technology and SDGs is going to help us lower the cost of implementation within our environments of work. I think that's what I believe is an outcome of this kind of discussion. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today, and all the best in all the endeavors that you're going to take. Thank you so much.